Hello everyone, my name is Cyrus Jansen. I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel, and I want to welcome you back to a very special episode where I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on a recent controversial piece that was published by the BBC entitled "The Foreigners in China's Disinformation Drive." Now, in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is breaking down a couple of the main points of this article that I have a real issue with. I want to share with you my insights, but in the second half of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to zoom out and talk about mainstream media as a whole and one of the biggest rising trends that I see. I think this trend is very dangerous, especially when we're talking about the country of China. Now, if you're new to this channel, I make weekly vlogs about China to really help more people around the world understand China. I'm under the belief that if the United States and China can learn to work together, this is going to make a better world for us all. And articles like this are definitely not helpful, as foreigners around the world, and most specifically inside of China, are sharing their genuine stories. We are trying to share our experiences inside the country of China so that more people can really understand the real China. But let's go ahead and start analyzing this article, and you'll see from the very first line the true intentions of these authors. In recent years, the vloggers have been increasingly presenting themselves as China lovers. Now, this is a really interesting term to use, China lovers. And this is something that I often hear. We must differentiate between the country of China and the Chinese government. And let's be very clear here. The authors and BBC are not talking about China's government. They're talking about the country of China. And what they are implying is that if you love the country of China, this is somehow a bad thing. Now, if someone was to come up to me and say, "Cyrus, do you love the country of China?" Now, the country of China means the people, the culture, the language, the history, the food. There are many things that encompass the country of China. Again, let's forget politics. I'm not talking about the government here. I'm talking about the country of China. I personally don't believe that it's wrong to love the country of China, no matter what your nationality is. I spent 10 years of my life living there. My wife is from China. My 3 children are half Chinese. Yes, I absolutely love the country of China. Now, the article continues. Vlogging is popular in China, but Chinese video platforms have strict terms and conditions. Now, both of these statements are true. Vlogging, of course, is very popular in China, and yes, the Chinese internet does have very strict terms and conditions. But now look at where the authors then take us with this. Consequently, many Chinese vloggers end up posting material filmed from within their homes. Now, this is also a very true statement. Vloggers, like myself, like to vlog from our homes. I'm going to share with you guys a secret. I'm actually recording this in my home right now. Why? Because it's very convenient. But this is what the authors want you to assume. They basically want you to think that Chinese people love to vlog, but yet they're scared to do so. And as a result, they have to only vlog from the courtesy of their homes. This again is completely inaccurate. And again, it's really prepping the readers to basically make false assumptions. The article then continues. In December 2020, citizen journalist Zhang Zhan was jailed for 4 years after making a number of vlogs during Wuhan's coronavirus outbreak. Now again, this is a true statement. Zhang Zhan was making COVID-19 vlogs. However, she was not jailed for that. She was actually jailed for going to a local hospital in Wuhan, verbally assaulting police, throwing down barriers, and then screaming to patients inside the hospital that they shouldn't be there and that they should run away and they should have freedom. Of course, this goes against the law in China, and this goes against the COVID-19 protocols. And as we've seen around the world, if you break COVID-19 protocols, you go to jail. For example, in the UK, there was a man who was hiding from the police in his girlfriend's shower. He was ultimately jailed after breaking COVID-19 protocols. Down in Australia, a woman was jailed for 6 months for breaking COVID-19 protocols. And even an American student who flew to the Cayman Islands was jailed for 4 months in the island because she broke the COVID-19 protocol. Being jailed over breaking COVID-19 protocols is not something that only China is doing, and Western countries around the world have acted in the exact same manner. If you do not follow the law, you will have consequences. It's really as simple as that. Now, at this point, let's go ahead and jump to the main point of this entire article. Are you ready? YouTube labels Chinese state media like broadcaster CGTN as government funded, but there is little policing when it comes to individuals promoting similar narratives. Now let me give you some context on what the authors mean here. CGTN is Chinese state media, and if you go to their official YouTube channel, in the bottom left corner, you will notice that it says CGTN is funded in whole or in part by the Chinese government. Now, this is really what the entire purpose of this article is saying. It is stating that vloggers who vlog about the country of China should have this same label attached to their YouTube channel. But there's actually a bigger problem. Most importantly, what this article admits is that funding a trip through official state media institution is actually common practice amongst many Western countries. Let me give you an example. This is the YouTube channel of Eva Zubek, a popular YouTube channel with over 1.1 million subscribers. Now, I'd like to bring your attention to two recent videos that she made, both in Poland and in the Ukraine, with Deutsche Welle. Now, who exactly is Deutsche Welle? Well, if you go to their official YouTube channel, you're going to notice in the bottom left corner that it says Deutsche Welle is a German public broadcast service. If you click that Wikipedia link, you will note that it is a German public state-owned international broadcaster funded by the German federal tax budget. So my question to you is this: should we label Eva Zubek's YouTube channel as being affiliated with the German government? Or can we realize the fact that she is a popular travel vlogger and that she was invited to participate in a program and simply do what she does best, make a travel vlog? Now let's take a look at one of the videos in question. This is from CGTN. Again, this is official Chinese state media, and this video is entitled Foreign Vloggers Explore in Hainan. Now, two very popular vloggers inside the country of China, both of whom are foreign nationals, were invited by CGTN to come down to Hainan, a very popular tourist area inside the country of China, and do a variety of tourist things. Things like scuba diving and exploring an early morning fish market, and simply these vloggers were invited to share their stories and their experiences. It's really interesting to me that when a Western government collaborates with a travel vlogger, no one is going to have an issue. But there seems to be a very large double standard. They are not spreading propaganda, they are simply being invited to participate in tourist campaigns. And there is really no different than Eva Zubek and the many countless number of travel vloggers that exist in the world today. To give you some more context, let's take a look at what the government in the UK is actually doing in this regard. In this annual report from Visit Britain and Visit England, you can see that the UK government is literally paying for social media influence inside the country of China, boasting that they have reached 100 million people. If you go on to further analyze the report, you will see that 13 million social media accounts were reached through our global influencer program. Notice the advertisement in the bottom left. But again, this is how polarized the world is that we live in right now. If anybody says something positive about the country of China, people automatically come out and say, well, that person's brainwashed. If he's not brainwashed, he's probably being paid by China's government. But again, this is just so far from reality. There is a reason why there are so many new YouTube channels from foreigners like myself that are constantly coming up on YouTube. Because many people inside the country of China, or people like myself that have lived there for a long time and continue to do business inside the country of China, we are all getting more and more frustrated by the narrative from mainstream media. And in the next portion of this video, we're going to zoom out from this BBC article. And actually, let's take a much wider look at the overall narrative from mainstream media when we're looking at the country of China. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'm going to show you how easy it is for me to manipulate my words to change your perception of reality. Are you ready? Let's get started. For this example, I'm going to use the Shanghai Disney Resort. Now, many of you might know that I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, the land of Walt Disney World, and I personally know American citizens that were recruited from Orlando, Florida, and sent to Shanghai, China to help open this resort. Let's imagine that I worked for mainstream media, and my editor came to me, and he said, Cyrus, I want you to write a headline to tell this story. This is exactly what I would write. Americans relocate to Shanghai to open world's largest Disney resort in a new joint venture between China's government and Walt Disney. Now, this is a very factual headline. Walt Disney World partnered with China's government on a joint venture to open the largest Disney resort in the world. And of course, they sent Americans to help open that process. Nothing more, nothing less. But if I was the editor of a mainstream media news outlet, what I would say is, this headline is not good enough. Because what we need to do is we need to ensure that every single person is going to click on this headline. And the way that we're going to do that is we are going to tap into one of the most powerful human emotions in the world, fear. And we all know right now that many people around the world fear China. So what if we take this headline and I slightly twist this a little bit? What if I twist this and I make it so that people are all of a sudden scared of what is happening at this Disney resort? How can I do it? It's actually quite simple. American expats are being recruited by communist China to work at a state-controlled Disney-branded theme park. Immediately notice the tone of this headline. It's very negative and certainly would cause a lot of fear amongst many Americans. And most definitely, it would certainly get more clicks. And you just have to realize that when you are consuming media, a lot of the time journalists will overhype things and will over-sensationalize things just to get a result. But here's the interesting thing. Let's go ahead and analyze this second headline. American expats are being recruited by communist China. Now, of course, this is a factual statement. The interesting thing is that we know communist is a very hot topic word. As soon as I add communism into that statement, of course, many people are going to be alarmed, and they are immediately going to think of something negative. To work at a state-controlled Disney-branded theme park. Now, this is where I can get very creative in my headline. You see, the joint venture is actually 51% controlled by China's government and 49% controlled by Walt Disney. Therefore, I can actually write that this is a state-controlled Disney-branded theme park. Again, it sounds very different than if I were to just say it's a joint venture and they're opening the largest Disney resort. We can take the English language and we can twist it and we can make you think things that are not true and that are actually a lot worse than what the reality of the situation is. To further illustrate my point, let me give you another example. This was a recent article from Bloomberg. Singapore virus cases at a 2-week high, just as dine-in curbs ease. When you read that headline, all of a sudden, you're thinking that the country of Singapore has had a huge COVID-19 outbreak. Do you want to know how many COVID cases there were? There were a total of 8. That's right, 8 individual cases in a country of 5.7 million people. Now, to give everybody an insight into why this is so dangerous, take a look at this article that was recently published in Australia. Anti-China rhetoric leaves Australia fearful of attack. And inside this article, we can see that 42% of Australians think China will attack Australia soon or sometime. 42% of Australians now believe that China is somehow going to invade and attack the country of Australia. The most remarkable fact here is that China is actually Australia's largest trading partner. Marcus Rubinstein from APAC Media asks a great question. Do they think that way because of what China says, or because of what some Australians are saying? Now, I personally believe it's the second option. It's certainly what Australians are saying. This is a result of the Australian government, media, journalists, politicians, and even Australian citizens all amongst themselves talking negatively about the country of China. It has gotten blown so far out of proportion that now people believe that China is going to attack them. Meanwhile, China has not said a single thing that would ever imply that they are going to militarily invade the country of Australia. And again, why would they? There's literally no reason for China to attack Australia. But again, this is an example of how the media has become so over-sensationalized and has really changed public opinion. Unfortunately, this has been a continuous trend that we have seen around the world over the past 18 months specifically. It seems that if you have a problem, you can most definitely just blame China. Take a look at this Bloomberg headline, Heat Dome smashing the Northwest records began with China rain. It seems almost everybody is going to try to blame China or somehow link China back into their article. Again, a heat wave, that's not a very good article title. But all of a sudden, let's link it back to China. I'm sure people are going to be fearful and they're going to click that article. Now everybody, as we come to the conclusion of this video, I felt it was very important for me to come out and share my thoughts because this is not the last article of this nature that we are going to see. Unfortunately, for the time being, it really does seem that Western countries and China are not seeing eye to eye. We really are at a point right now where we need to see level heads rise up. Again, if you're looking at the Australia situation, that is very, very alarming. This definitely means that many Australians have been manipulated and they do not have a clear sense of reality of what is actually happening with their largest trading partner. I believe that if we are going to have a more peaceful world, we need to seek out better partnerships, we need to be building bridges, and most importantly, we need to try to understand other countries around the world. And most definitely the country of China, because it is going to play a pivotal role in our society moving forward. Everyone, we're going to end today's video there, but as always, I want to thank you for taking your time to spend it with me here on YouTube. If you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, and drop me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys, and I look forward to seeing you all in a future video.
你好，如果你喜欢我西瓜视频，你可以给我评论，关注我。感谢你们的兴趣，感谢你们的支持。感谢你们的观看，我们下次再见。